Valentine's Day, a very much overrated, commercialized holiday. Most of y'all know I hate Valentine's Day with a passion. Yes, I know. I'm that one girl who seems I'm not anti, it's just love. I'm just anti Valentine's Day. There is a difference. But there is one Valentine's Day that I enjoy. February 14th, 1929. It's the only Valentine's Day I like. And if you don't know why, you'll figure out in the last episode, and I will tell you why. But anyway, welcome to the True Crime Lounge podcast. My name is Breezy, and here we talk murder and true crime. I do have a YouTube channel that you can go and check out as well. I also have a Patreon that you can go join and help support. Um, you don't have to, but by joining, you will receive early access to scheduled videos set to come out. Um, I also have a merch shop that you can go and check out for that. Go get something for that true crime lover in your life. Now, also, if you want any updates on my Instagram, on my channel and podcast, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Since I have all that said, let's dive into today's episode, shall we? Today on the TCL podcast, we are continuing on our mini series called Valentine's Day Murders. Such a dark holiday. It truly, really is. So far, we've done Thanksgiving murders, Christmas murders. What holiday should I do next, right? Alright, y'all. Today, we are going to be talking about Paul Dyson. And this guy truly makes me sick. It really does. He is definitely an example of a spoiled child who never really grew up in adulthood. But Paul Dyson is a murderer who has one known victim on February 13, 2005. His victimology includes his girlfriend Joanne Nelson, who was 22. His methodology was strangulation in Hull, East Yorkshire, England, UK. I've been doing a lot of UK serial murderers here lately. Not that I don't mind. I do love the English. Okay, my Swifty references are over with. I promise. But anyway, but yes, I am Swifty. I do sometimes have those references come out without even trying to let them come out, so I apologize in advance. But anyway, on November 2005, he was sentenced to life in prison with a maximum of 16 years. Joanne Nelson was 22 when she was strangled by her boyfriend, Paul Dyson, who was 31, and it was much debated if it was February 13th or 14th. It is sure that the strangulation happened after an argument occurred about the two reportedly splitting up. Dyson then drives hundreds amount 140 is argued that it's either 40 to 100 miles to dispose the body and make up an elaborate cover-up for her disappearance. And this cover-up would include emotional appeal on television. He made a history of violence. Now Dyson. See, here's the thing: he was not cut and dry. He had a history of violence toward women. So this cover-ups would include an emotional appeal on television. Um, and he even attacked his former wife at their wedding on their wedding night. He would strangle her to the point of unconsciousness on that occasion. Dyson pled guilty to murder of Joanne, and he sentenced to life with a minimum of 16 years. According to one article, he tearfully begged for help for his missing fiance's body. I'm sorry, this guy's a psycho, and that was his nickname, ironically enough. He would admit to strangling her in a frenzy after she accused him of being useless around the house. He could not turn a washing machine on. How do you not know how to turn a washing machine on? Seriously, how? I just want to know. Previously, he admitted manslaughter, and while on remand, he slashed his wrist, and he would then scrawl sorry in his blood on his cell wall, shortly before his trial was due to begin, thus resulting in him pleading his plea guilty. The judge in this case would be and the case would be heard at Hull Crown Court, and the judge would tell him that he had to serve 16 years in prison before being considered for parole. The judge would even condemn him for causing her family grief and torment. that is scarcely imaginable. Like, he would even criticize Dyson for going on television to make an appeal, for helping to find and finding her. After a verdict was read, the Nelson family would issue a statement saying, "We don't feel sorry for ourselves. We feel sorry for Joanne and the life that she will miss out on. We, her parents, her sisters, and all of us, all those who love her, have been cheated out and can never be done. Nothing, injustice can never be done and can't take her home. But we do consider ourselves lucky and privileged to be able to call Joanne our daughter and sister." It also emerged that Dyson was a steroid popping bodybuilder who attacked his former wife, Jenny Clark, on their wedding night, and he would beat her and once throttle her neck until she passed out. Dyson, Dyson's dad, with whom he worshipped, stabbed a love rival and killed the dad of 7 in a hit and run. So this abusive nature had to be genetic, right? Or is it one of those things where it's nature versus nurture? I grew up in abuse. I was abused, so I'm just curious how that kind of like if it's a nature versus nurture thing or what. Um, but Dyson will lose his temper on Joanne as she provoked him about his sloppy ways. She even he would tell the police that she said I couldn't switch on the washing machine, which I couldn't. I still don't get who doesn't know how to turn a washing machine on. This is just a sign of a spoiled kid who's not truly an adult. Anyway, he dumped her body and then reported her missing. His ex, who I'm going to call Katie, for her own privacy and for the fact that she is the mother of their daughter, so they deserve their privacy on this, um, said, "I knew when I first saw Joanne that she had difficulty standing up to him. She she looked like the timid type. He was a bully, and I hope she didn't go through hell with him, and that Paul could be aggressive. The threat of violence and him losing his temper was always in the background. It's ironic he's going to kill, just like his father he thought the world of." Dyson's dad was jailed for 6 years for manslaughter in 1967. He was he stabbed John Dickinson, who was 22, to death, and he was suspected of sleeping with his wife. In 1974, 2 days after Paul was born, he drove to Gordon Kell. He drove on into Gordon Kell, who was walking home from celebrating his civil wedding, and Dyson did not stop and left Gordon dying in the road. He escaped prosecution and died of a heart attack in Saudi Arabia at the age of 55 in 2000. No one knows if Dyson revealed his father's secret to Joanne after meeting her while working as a doorman. He was 27 and she was 19. This was a huge age gap. I personally don't like these kind of age gaps, mainly because there was a lot there, but I'm not going into all that. Anyway, they were living together in Hull and planning on being married. But the relationship was troubled. As a job center worker, Joanne realized her life was going nowhere with Dyson. She had a flourishing career and a rise circle of friends. And never and now a wood machinist who had held a number of low paid jobs. There were tensions over Joanne's ambition to travel and over domestic tours. On the weekend of February 12th through 13th, those strains boiled over into murder. Dyson already had a temper, so it was worsened by the effect of steroids. Like, seriously. He picked up the name Psycho from working as a nightclub, but a source at the gym says that he used to tell the fights at the door of the pubs. Seriously, who does that? It's just messed up. After Dyson confessed to killing Joanne, police have found her body. He only remembered leaving her by a metal gate with some green bottles nearby. He was able to describe some distinctive trees at the scene, which police tentatively said were as western hemlock, birch, and hornbeam, all common in North Yorkshire. A detective led a 6-week search for Joanne, which involved hundreds of police officers and civilians in 3 counties. He found her body in Bransby near York, and during the routine visit, he was one of the teams with Detective Phil God. And the path from the gate surrounded by green bottles led to a wooded area, and officers followed back in a quarter of a mile. Reaching a dip in the ground, moments later they found her body, wrapped in bin bags and covered in branches. But she was a young girl whose life was taken way too soon, got involved with an older man who was emotionally immature, wasn't ready for a relationship, and yet here he was. He was a narcissist. But anyway, that's it for today's episode. I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a happy Valentine's Day.